Once you have access to a Kubernetes cluster, what you want to do is that you want to start deploying distributed application onto it. Whatever the format, that's what you want to do. You want to start deploying them and managing them. So let me introduce Kubeapps. My name is Sebastian Guasgen. I'm the Senior Director of Cloud Technologies at Bitnami. Kubeapps is nothing else than a package-agnostic application dashboard for Kubernetes. Whatever the format that you're using, Helm chart, serverless application, straightforward Kubernetes manifest in YAML or JSON, Kubeapps is the launchpad that you can use to deploy and manage those applications. Why are we working on this? Why are we developing this in the open source with the community? That's because we have many years of expertise in packaging applications. We've been packaging for local installers, we've been packaging virtual machines, we've been packaging cloud instances and publishing them to all the public cloud providers. And more recently, of course, we've started packaging application as containers and now as serverless applications. We see that there is this need to have a tool that provides this launchpad and dashboard capabilities, whatever the format. And we need to cover the entire spectrum. That's our promise to you. Help you migrate your application throughout this application packaging landscape. So head over to the kubeapps.com website where you can learn more about Kubeapps, where you can find access to the documentation, to the source code on GitHub, and you'll learn a lot more than this short screencast. On the website, you also have access to the hub, the community hub, where people publish pre-packaged applications and share them. You can rate application, you can leave comments, and we intend for this hub.kubeapps.com to become a community-driven site where people publish and share application. But let's go ahead and let's do a demonstration. So we're going to head over to our terminal. And on the terminal, I have access to a Kubernetes cluster on Google Kubernetes Engine. I've installed the Kubeapps CLI. And you see that this CLI is rather straightforward. It has a Kubeapps up command which installs all the components that make up Kubeapps, including Helm, including kubeless and sealed secrets and an ingress controller. You can shut down everything with Kubeapps down, and then you can access the dashboard through the Kubeapps dashboard command. So let's do this. We run Kubeapps dashboard. You see that it opens my browser, and I have a proxy connection on that dashboard. I can now browse for charts, and for example, let's search for Minio, the famous object store. And well, what you'll see is that you have access to the upstream Minio chart. To install this chart, you can simply click on the install command and click deploy. Single click application deployment onto Kubernetes. Isn't that great? Let's do the same thing for WordPress, what I sometimes call the hello world of cloud native application. You see the install WordPress icon and we deploy. Once you do this, these particular packages are Helm charts. So when we click on the deployment window, what we see are actually Helm releases. If we want to launch functions, we can simply access the kubeless UI directly from the Kubeapps dashboard. We click on a function and let's do a test.foo function, and we're going to make that a simple, very simple Python function. Okay? What kubeless does, as you probably know, is that it injects these functions into a Kubernetes pod, and once it's available, you can simply click the function and you see here run function and I get hello world. Of course, this is a dashboard experience. If you are like me and you still like the CLI, you can head over to the CLI and you'll see that you can use the traditional CLI command and you'll see kubeless function ls. You see your test function. So everything that you've done through the dashboard, you can also get to it, of course, through the more traditional CLI expertise. In this particular directory, I have a function which is a great function to find the price of current cryptocurrencies. This is very trendy these days. So I'm just going to deploy this function from the CLI. Here you go. And I'm just going to now go back to the dashboard, refresh my kubeless UI, you'll see on the left side I now have a new function. That's the one that I deployed through the CLI, and I can just send a post request with a body of crypto. And what price do we want to see? We want to know the price of Bitcoin, so we can just click Bitcoin, and it's going to call the function. Of course, the function needs to be running. So you see that the current price of Bitcoin is $14,709.9 US dollars. Great. So while all of this was happening, of course, our charts were being deployed. You see that now the Minio chart is up and running. We have a URL for it, and bang, the application has been deployed. I now have access to my Minio dashboard. If I go back and I click on my WordPress app, I see a URL for WordPress. I click on this and I have access to my WordPress blog. Here you go. In 5 minutes, I showed you a tour of Kubeapps. It's a package agnostic application launchpad for Kubernetes. You can browse applications that have been pre-packaged. You can launch them with a single click, and you see that here I was able to launch Minio, to launch WordPress, which are composed of services, deployments, you name it, lots of Kubernetes objects, and I was also able to deploy 2 functions in just a few minutes. Thank you.